In Mark chapter 2, reading verse 5, Jesus said to a man who had been brought to him by some friends, "Son, thy sins be forgiven thee." Jesus said to a woman in Luke chapter 7, who had washed his feet with her tears and wiped them with the hairs of her head. He told her in Luke 7:48, "Thy sins are forgiven." In John chapter 8, verse 11, referring to the woman taken in adultery, Jesus said to her, "Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more." In each of these three cases, Jesus Christ forgave people of their sins. Forgiveness or pardon is the same thing as justification by faith. Justification is the process or the act whereby a human being, a sinner, is made right with God. That right state comes about when the barrier is removed, and that barrier is sin. But I want you to observe, in all three cases, Mark 2, verse 5, the man who was brought to Christ by friends. Luke 7, verse 48, the woman who washed the feet of Christ with her tears. John 8, verse 11, the woman taken in adultery. In each case, forgiveness was spoken. What am I trying to say? Forgiveness is accomplished by the Word of God. When God justifies a person, that person is declared to be right with God. It is a declaration from God. It is by the Word of God someone is forgiven. Why am I saying that? Because these audios are always in the direction of the Sabbath. The same Word that created heaven and earth, that same powerful Word, is the same Word that forgives or justifies or pardons. As we keep the Sabbath from week to week, we ideally should honor God and commemorate what God did. What was it God did? He created heaven and earth. How did he do that? By his Word. The powerful Word that brought heaven and earth into existence. The powerful Word that brought living beings into existence, human, animal, vegetation. It is that same Word that justifies a sinner, because justification or salvation is a work of spiritual creation. I'll tell you something else you may find difficult to believe. When Christ created heaven and earth, because Christ was the creator and remains the creator, he did not have to die. In order to justify or declare one person righteous, the cost of that was the life of Christ. Let me say it again. Christ, the Creator, created heaven and earth without giving up his life. In order to declare one person righteous, it required the sacrifice of the life of the Son of God. That word, "thy sins be forgiven," accomplishes more than the creation of an entire world. Creation came about by the Word of God. Justification comes about by the Word of God. It is a declaration that this or that person who has accepted Jesus Christ is right with God. My dear friend, I cannot overestimate the importance, the central importance of the Word of God. All of us, since Adam sinned, are born with a carnal mind. The only power that can redirect that mind to God is the power of the Word of God. Nothing else can accomplish it. Let me say it again. The only power that can redirect, reprogram the carnal mind is the Word of God. The Word we so frequently neglect. As you keep the Sabbath holy, my listening friend, recommit yourself to study the life-changing Word of God. It is life. Happy Sabbath. God bless you, and doubly bless your children.